How are the concepts of professionalism, uniformity, conservatism, and secrecy classified in Gray's framework for accounting system development? Strong choice. Accounting values is the right answer. According to Gray's framework for accounting system development, the counterpart to the value of secrecy is good thinking. Transparency is the right answer. Which of the following countries tends to have a relatively high degree of transparency in their companies? Financial statements. Nicely done. United Kingdom is a solid answer. Costs that arise from periodic budgeting decisions that have no strong input-output relationship are commonly called. You got it! Your choice discretionary costs is right. Countries such as the US tend to value self-regulation of accounting. What term is used to define this subculture? Excellent. Professionalism is a brilliant choice. The difference between the selling price of a product and its total unit costs represents the unit. Smart move. Gross profit is an accurate answer. The generally accepted accounting principles prepared and accepted within the boundaries of a country are called as. Perfect. National GAAP is the correct choice. Which of the following countries tends to show a relatively high preference for conservative accounting standards? You chose Japan, and it is correct. What is the term used to refer to creating one set of financial accounting standards throughout the world? Excellent choice. Harmonization is the right answer. If the dash is satisfied over time, then revenue is recognized based on the progress towards completion. Correct. Performance obligation is the right answer. A cultural preference for accounting systems that rely on compliance with legal requirements is called. Good job. Your answer, statutory control, works well here. What term is used to refer to the decision about whether to report an item in the financial statements? Solid response. Recognition is a valid choice. What term is used to describe accounting standards that encourage risk-taking in financial reporting? Smart pick. Optimism is the correct choice. What is the equivalent of US balance sheet common stock on the balance sheet of a British company? They? Correct response. Called up share capital is the most accurate answer. In an activity-based costing system, cost reduction is accomplished by identifying and eliminating. You're right. Cost drivers. Non-value-adding activities. Yes, the correct answer. In the NOBS classification of accounting systems, micro-based accounting systems are derived from. Sharp thinking. Business models is the right choice. Which of the following is considered a pervasive constraint by the FASEB's conceptual framework? Valid point. Cost is true. Optimism is a value of accounting standards that would most likely be found in which country? Exactly. Australia makes sense, and it is right choice. Which is not a fundamental qualitative characteristics of useful financial information? Great thinking. Timely is the right choice. Individualism, power distance, uncertainty avoidance, and masculinity are examples of. On track. Cultural dimensions is the correct answer.
Activity-based costing can be part of an operating costing system, job costing system.
Nice work. You chose yes, and it is correct. In a production company, the unit costs for raw materials and direct labor represent.
Right choice. Prime costs is the best answer.
Which one of the following considers the impact of fixed factory overhead costs? Well reasoned. Absorption costing is the correct choice.
In which year did international accounting standards come into effect? 1973 is the accurate answer.
Which country includes a social report in the notes to financial statements? Nice selection. Brazil is the correct and valid answer.
What is the major risk associated with accounting for international sales?
Well picked. Currency conversion is the correct answer.
What term is used to refer to a cultural aversion to ambiguous situations? Bravo! Uncertainty avoidance is the answer. Hedging is used to reduce which kind of risk in international accounting?
Right again. Currency conversion risk is a valid answer.
In which year are Indian accounting standards in line with F?
Clear logic? Your choice 2011 is sound and 100% true.
Which of the following are not one of faculty at MISU?
Well done. FSCOM is the right choice.
From where did the accounting principles originated?
Strong choice. Italy is the right answer.
Which of the following are not Mamakariamsu?
Sharp thinking. Faris Maju is the right choice. To reduce differences is called. You chose harmonization, and it is correct.
What is not in the color in Malaysia flag?
Well picked. Green is the correct answer.
Where is the world's largest equity market?
Good job. Your answer Americas works well here.
What is Malaysia's official national animal?
On track. Malayan tiger is the correct answer. When is the International Accounting Day? Solid response. Nov 10 is a valid choice.
International accounting is a branch of. Good thinking. Accounting is the right answer. What is the national flower of Malaysia?
Well reasoned. Hibiscus is the correct choice.
Which of them are not locally brand car?
Smart pick. Toyota is the correct choice.
What are the options included in FD? Well done. All of the above is the right choice. How many ways to comply with EFIRS?
Right again. 2 is a valid answer.
How many types of GAPE are there?
Correct. 2 is the right answer.
What is the capital of Malaysia? Valid point. Kuala Lumpur is true. Who is the father of accounts?
Great thinking. Luca Pacioli is the right choice.
Longest river in Malaysia.
Perfect. Rajang River is the correct choice.
When is Hari Malaysia?
Exactly. 16 September makes sense and it is right choice.
ICE refers to.
Right choice. International Accounting Standards Board is the best answer.
FD stands for.
Excellent choice. Foreign direct investment is the right answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Correct response. Contact Narayan Chengda is the most accurate answer